Hey, good evening, folks. It's Stitch from Black Hole Decisions. Lovely camera person is Deb behind. Wanted to thank specifically D Community. I got some Buckethead who I have written permission to use his music. Fantastic artist, wonderful wife. Simulation of a restaurant. I used to own Tailgater Sports Bar in Raleigh, North Carolina. And it was a dream of a general manager partner that we do so for 15 years. And there was some neat things. It failed. The restaurant failed, but had some great patrons. What we're going to do is both a sweet and sour pork and a pork stir-fried rice. Okay. So we're gonna do our pacing item. Alright, the carrots and the onions. We're gonna save some of those for later. Now I couldn't cook with a wok with the old setup because I only had one burner and it was electric. So here we have our sweet and sour pork, the pork parts. Next order's ready to go. Oil's coming up to temperature. I'm going to go ahead and just do that. Stir these around a little bit. I want to beat them up. Now we did all the prep work on TikTok. On Stitch 25691. And you can also find me, we'll put this post on Reddit. I violated some rules yesterday. Wasn't aware, I should have, blah, blah, blah. We got that straightened out. This is a pork roast that I had cooked last night. And it is mostly all the way cooked, so I'm not too worried about the time in the oil. That's that. Now, tailgaters. Tailgaters is a very interesting story. We got mainly the migrants out of NVPs in Raleigh to come over after they went away. And we started tailgaters. Now, we were on the verge of doing this very thing right here. About 7 months in, 6 or 7 months in, we wanted to put a big roll-up door. The operational managers, Eddie, my cousin, running the bar side, the front of the house, and I ran the back side of the house. And we were going to do this big roll-up fire door on the stage and be able to cook in front of y'all. And it didn't work out, right? Often the case. Now this meal will take about 10 minutes. I've prepared some nice barley. And somewhere around here I have some nice saffron rice made with a very traditional Spanish saffron. We'll get to that. So I'm going to let this just cool and put a lid on it and let that cook up pretty good there. Now you can see our oil is still nice and hot. I'm going to turn it down here in just a minute. And we're just going to do a test. Now, preparation is everything. This works in corporate world. It works in the family. It works in education. It works in government. You got to prepare. That's why we pay the government to do what they do or don't do. That's an answer, right? So meanwhile, in chef land, I'm pasting that temperature of that oil to see how long it's going to cook so we can be ready to serve. Now, kitchen never stops. You can't stop the kitchen. You can't have everything working. and easy because I got nothing better to do than cook. Got some garnish that'll be useful to the meal, handy. These beads were made from the gravy of a roast pork I cooked last night. You may have seen the YouTube video. I used what's called a spherificator and made these, and that's all on TikTok. Now that's a good color. That's my test. I know I'm good. This is good. Now the reason chefs use brass is nothing sticks to it, so it's great for deep frying. I'm going to pull these away a little bit. And we're going to add some color to this. Some celery in there. And what the heck, we'll throw a little pineapple in. Now I do have some nice victuals. This is going to be a pork fried rice. So there's some previous carrots to make use of everything we cook. If not, the chickens get it, or the dog. You eat the dog. Instant heat makes a big difference. And we're going to cover this. And so it don't splatter in it, we're going to start this, which is as easy as this. Now you can't just tell somebody to go stick your hand above a hot oil bath, but you can if you know, right? And that's experience. Da-da-da-da-da. So anyway, we put this thing together over 15 years. Talked about it, I refused. Because when you own a restaurant, you're married to the restaurant. It's 20-hour days, right? The menu coming up with, the cost, the thing, and everything breaks, especially after you buy it. So anyway, if we can turn this down. We went on all happy, but the GM had another job. And the GM had to travel quite a bit, much like any other restaurant that's owned by blah, blah, blah. And so while Eddie and I and the staff, I had 2 chefs that were phenomenal, and a great staff outside of a couple of thieves. Remember that, they're always there. Not all of them, but too many. So we were working on the designs and everything for this beautiful roll-up door and make this the hot spot. Well, something happened that caused something else happened that caused replanning, overplanning, and just figuring out we had to shut the doors. Well, that happens, right? It was a dream. But now I'm retired. So I make it come true. Oh, they're starting to brown up nice. Love the tails. So meanwhile, you're setting up for the next meal. Just like we were setting up for the next stage for the business plan. Oh, there goes the smoke alarm. Better open the window. Already have a fan going. This is close to commercial as we can. It'll go away. Here, I'll turn up the music. I got tinnitus anyway, so it doesn't bother me. I hope it doesn't bother you. So, I tell you what, we're going to come down to low, because I'm not sure we're going to use that tonight. Oh no, this is good. You want them al dente, right? So, anyway, we had to close the doors. Doesn't matter how, why, who, da-da-da, right? It just doesn't matter. I want to keep the flavors separate because I've used peanut in this. There's peanut butter. There's some boiled peanut juice. Now here's the real nice thing about a wok. You can maintain all these separate flavors. We're going to steam that. I'm going to throw a little egg in here. And a little of the egg I cooked yesterday morning. So anyway, it ain't easy making a call to change people's lives. It just is no fun, but you got to know when it's time to go, and I knew it was time to go. Doesn't mean the dream died. Just meant it was time to go. We'll let that steam and heat through, and we can pull these things off. Right? So we had a great staff. We create our own. I started out a lot of cooking, a lot of hours creating this menu. And then a tailored down menu and a bar menu. And we worked a good year putting all this together. And then it just fell apart. You can imagine. It was a weird. That's good to hold warm for when we're doing it. Time to get a plate ready.